Good afternoon. This is a weekly outlook. So we had there's quite a few things. So first, massive, just insane rally that we've had for the past, almost 2 weeks, right? We did end up consolidating quite a few at the top, but on Friday we broke the third high. We had a triple top and it turned out to be broken after a sweep of the lows. So they basically are going to buy every dip. They did here, they did here, they did here, they did here every time. And then here, I guess because we formed a lower low, it ended up rallying to 7,200. Now, the quarterly expected move is 73.35, I think, 73.36. That would mean there is roughly 100 points left to go. Now, could it go higher? That's a possibility. I believe something is going to happen that's going to make this stop and completely fall off the rails. As far as right now, there is nothing happening that can show us any type of like reversal. We're just on a rampage. We swept those equal lows and we just went on since April, pretty much. Now, April is almost over. They're going to readjust their books. So I'm pretty certain that the 100 points is likely to be by the end of the month. That being said, next month might be a different story, and then we're not there yet. But as far as right now, I still think there's some upside left, clearly because we broke that structure here. And if you look, this is kind of a pattern. I think it's a triangle or a wedge or some sort. The fact that we just kept pushing and they kept buying regardless. The liquidity is down here and it was swept at 7,000. Uh, Something bad would have need to happen for us to fall further down, but it didn't. So as far as right now, I do believe this little kick is going to continue. Either we continue a little higher and come back down to retest and continue, but as far as right now, it, this is very strong. The volume is behind it. That kind of told I thought this because it was on the hourly time frame. I thought this might have been the reversal, the spike that we're looking for in the volume for us to get a reversal. But if you go any higher, the spikes are not. They're not like there's one, but it's really insignificant. It's not that high compared to this one right here, which this one really showed clear reversal. Uh, I would still advise care because it is a spike, but on the daily time frame, it is not. So it's more of a be careful rather than a oh shit, there's a spike, it's a clear reversal, go long, right? Like oh shit, it's a spike higher than these, go long. There was one here too, and it did lead to a small reversal, but then it fell two more legs. So we really need to see something like this that's significantly higher. And even then, this one still gave us a pretty significant bounce. This one gave us a significant bounce. This one gave us a significant bounce. Same one, same here, another bounce, you know. And each of these big spikes gave us some type of significant bounce, creating a higher high. If you look here, this one was below the previous one. It did reverse, but it never created a higher high, right? This one, same thing. It was higher, not higher than the average, but it still created a reversal. Now here we kind of did have one, but we did close the daily below the 20 volume moving average, which therefore I think this is a valid trend to the upside. It may continue. My lean is that it will continue because we hit the bottom of the quarter, the expected move so precisely. I do believe 73.36 is going to be uh, in that aspect. I do believe it's 73.36. Let me double check. 73.32.95. So 73.33, so to speak. 73.33 would be in somewhere right here, which I'm going to mark myself. So I know. So there's still some room to go. Now, could we, chop in this area somewhere? I mean, create another pattern or just go straight up? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But I know that we broke a significant consolidation pattern where if you think of a market maker, they have millions of positions to unload or to buy. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to buy here. 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 So now they had four chances to buy plus the fifth here that led to the first spike. So you would think that they're pretty heavily in the market right now. For those that missed the original downside or the original entry from the downside. So that being said, just be careful. The retest will be this block here. So 71.90, somewhere there about, maybe previous day high. There's just empty liquidity here. So if we go somewhere, it's going to be 71.75. Could possibly 71.60, 71.50, but at the same time, this area, this top side of this consolidation is going to be the retest, if there is a retest, as far as I'm concerned. That's what I'm looking at. That being said, you go to VIX, a little strategy for VIX. Price under 50 leads to clean price action, and then anything that is above 200 is spiky. As far as right now, we refuse to go below, and we close the weekly above 50, and we remain there, and it even tried to go above 20. So as far as right now, VIX needs to stay below 20.15, and it needs to go below 18.50. If we go below 50T, there's a chance we go to 1681, which therefore will give us more a more rally some price action to 7300. Now the thing is because it is only 100 point, that could be like 3 days, right? It could be just a simple 3 days of price action, and then we just failed to close below 1681, and then now it starts going back into the spike mode. But I would keep my eyes on VIX for these closure above the traumas. This week I'm looking at VIX to be in this range here or to go straight below 200T. If we go straight below 200T, just go long. It'll be very simple price action for swings. If we remain above 50 but below 20, I would suggest to be very careful because that's going to be a choppy environment. If we go above 20, we're fucked. We're like short. It's that simple. Every time it's working. Every single time. Like I'm not even kidding. Every time it worked. Like these spikes happens because it's above 200T and then it starts going under 200T and it kind of finds a rhythm and then it spikes, attempts, and then it dies down. And then it kind of chops underneath it, spikes if it kind of fail. Like you can see, it's very consistent as far as the traumas. I do believe this is going to be our crystal ball, so to speak, to see what the price action has left in the tank. I looked at the dollar on Friday. We have not hit 200T, but we have swept those equal highs, and I think this is a higher low. That's the fact that this is a too clean of a under over with the break of structure. I do believe the dollar is going to strengthen for the coming week. The fact that it swept in and then the candle body closed above the left shoulder, that shows me that this is going to be the side that's going to pick. So I would advise care and to watch the dollar strength. Beside that, I'm not looking at any stocks, but I will see there's no spike here and this is a confirm. Well, I mean it's at the line, but it's good enough to get a continuation. That was a spike and it led to a trend. So it's more of a question of time right now to wait and see what happens if this is a continuation pattern or if it's going to reverse and then come back inside that block to retest, which there's not much liquidity. Like if it retests, it's going to retest over here. There's a bunch of liquidity that came out of this little area, so we could possibly gap up until another spike. The end of the trend will have a spike of sorts. So that's something to watch. But as far as right now, support here is 27,400 and there's liquidity. It is way above value area high, but at the same time, it doesn't fucking matter because they don't care. All they want is to buy the dip. So if we get another dip, we're going to get a dip somewhere in this area and then go back up, or it's just going to go up and then retest this area here. But as far as right now, the support is over here, 27,400. We could see 28,000 really because we're not that far. I mean, again, it's 3 days and we're at 28K. The market would look pretty damn good if it's at 28K. Just to think about that. A lot of people are looking at this pattern. Where did someone show me this? Oh yeah, this right here. Little triangle. And we're still below. I still think we're going in the 50s eventually. I think something's going to happen, but again, we could see there's just no liquidity here. That's why I'm so not keen that Bitcoin is going to go and continue going because there's no liquidity here. Like what is going to happen for it to just rocket through and go tap those exits here? You know what I mean? Like there's a possibility that we could go to 84.3, and that would also align with the market going into the last leg uh, of the rally. So I would keep my eyes on that no wick candle here. That lines up with 200T. So 84,180 at the highs for the finishing of this pattern. But a lot of people think this is bearish, which honestly, I mean, I do personally know crypto's bearish to me. I'm not buying any of them. I don't want to buy any of them. I do believe that at some point it's going to hit that 200T and then it's just going to fall. Best case scenario, we go back to 109, doubtful, 104, doubtful. I think we might just retest 90 and then call it. But again, if we break that trend line, we're going to keep going higher. It's the trend line that had broken in January. I don't see us go up here, but I definitely see that there's a bearish pattern. The thing is with these patterns is that usually when there's a lower low, it's after. Like the lower lows is after. It gets a low and then it gets a lower low. So maybe that's it right here. This would be this right here. And then as soon as it breaks above 200T, then the buyers come in into pushing it into giving it another range or another area. So as far as right now, this would be the lower low. I'm still watching it closely. We do need to go above 200T. We just need to go above 200T. The end of the year, I still see it at 50K, but for now, we're going to follow price action instead of my guts. And I do believe we might retest 200T in the coming weeks. Same with Ethereum. I have a bunch of alerts on Ethereum. I've been trading the shit out of Ethereum. Um, POC 2528. There's the first resistance has held multiple times. So I'm assuming once POC breaks, obviously it's going to be 2660 and then 2730 as far as what's left. And obviously, if Bitcoin hit is 200T, Ethereum should do the same. There's candle with no wick right here, and that's the end of the liquidity. So that would be a wick. So there's a very high possibility that that head and shoulder pattern does not go to the neckline, which would be here, somewhere thereabout, or here. Even here would be fine because that would be a lower low, retest a 20, and then kick off. But I don't. I it needs to break 2370 to really give me a an upper sentiment that I'm gonna follow and trade. But as far as right now, I'm just waiting to see if this is actually failing to continue higher. The weekend has given a little pump. I want to see if the opening weekly is 2370. Oil has been wild. Again, there's resistance at 98. It doesn't seem to want anything more. But at the same time, it's oil. Something could happen. If the war ends, obviously oil is going to be in a better shape. Could we go back to 50s? Probably not. I think it's going to hover in this area and then maybe get somewhere back into 70s and in that block right here, which has already been tested. So to me, I think it's already been tested, especially recently. We're going to be chopping in this area here in these or in that one right here. So I would suggest if we go back to 91, that's a good buy, and then you would sell 107 or thereabout. But so far, there's just it could possibly actually go up because if all this is buyers, yeah, it just came out of POC. That was a while ago, but if it breaks above, I mean, that was a head and shoulders, and then it did go to the neckline. So there's a possibility that this could just retest the 91 and then kick off. So I would keep my eyes on oil. If oil starts ramping, obviously the market's going to start falling. Big nat gas, well, big energy news this week at the end of the week. It kind of lines up with the fact that 200T is right there. Nat gas is going to probably benefit from that news. A lot of investors are going to come in, and then we might actually get a bounce. It's been trashed since January with some spikes, but it's not like it hasn't been, it didn't find any good volume and good buyers. It's more like sellers, though we have formed a lower low, and this could be the last lower low. We are at the value low, and 200T is right there. So if 200T starts inching up, then we might actually get some upside. It did attempt here, but it needed a lower low. The lower low is already set. So if we start inching back up, once we cross above 20T, it's going to go. It's probably going to go back to 2.8, 2.85. Gold. I have two patterns. I like this trend line because it followed it and it didn't go any higher. And then obviously this big channel here. So if this is a higher low and we start inching back up and break above and then start retesting, we're going to retest it here and then break out in this range here. So I would say May-ish, this would be the area where the breakout would happen to continue higher. If not, we might just inch down and then retest the bottom and then flip back down to go form the lower low. But that would be, there's going to be another tap somewhere. Yeah, somewhere in May. There's going to be another tap. So if we break above, obviously we're going to break up. If we stay below, we're going to this would be the retest area, and then it's going to fall to go back down and retest these area for a third leg. But it needs a third leg on the upside, and he needs a third legs on the bottom side. That's a question of time. Same with silver, close at support. This is kind of a clean downside pattern with a lower low. So I mean, maybe there's going to be some type of wick back into value area low and then a kickoff. But as far as right now, I mean, if this is another pattern with missing a leg, basically. Like it's missing a leg. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is actually a triangle. Yeah, yeah. So there could be a third leg, and then a retest to break out. The third leg would be a lower low. So I mean, if everything starts falling, you kind of know where to buy. I did look at Tesla's been hammered, hammered completely. If Tesla can break and close above 20T, that would solidify our lower low. Though there's equal lows, so we could possibly come back down to go retest 200T. I mean, there's equal lows here too. I like to me a lot of those stocks all left clues below that the rest of the year is going to be very volatile. Something is going to happen where a lot of those stocks are going to go fill up those RLs. And that's why I don't want to watch or play any of them because I mean, this is not a double top. Like that's an equal high, right? So there's a clue there. They could go there, but there's also a clue here that it could go down here to sweep more liquidity because all the liquidity is down there. So as far as Tesla break POC, which I do believe the next attempt will probably be a break, but it did last time it did test it. It went for the trend with a higher low. This could be the lower low test, and then a higher low would form over here to go and back up here. So wait till it closes above 20 and then send it up. If it remains below 20 and the retest, it's going to go and wick below, and then these will probably be reversal. There is a spike also on the daily, so that could be a short-sighted reversal. So I would be very careful. Nvidia's an absolute fucking tear. Double bottom. Yeah, that was clean double bottom too. Damn. It attempted to break highs. So what we need to see, I mean, it went into the resistance. So what you really want to see is a break of 212, 212.17. The break of 212.17, the retest would launch it a little higher. But as far as right now, I mean, that was some clean. The spike is not as bad, so I wouldn't say it's a spike. I mean, even here, it still led to more highs. Here it led to a reversal. Here it led to another day of kickoff. This one was a clean reversal. It didn't create a higher high, or it took a while, but it did show some downside. So yeah, I mean, this could actually continue a little higher. Looked at Ethereum. I mean, this is the last time we called it for a high, and it just kept going. Here, we're at the same spot where it started again, right? So could we really, and then it did close above POC and it did close above 20T. The exact same thing happened here. Once it closed, it did retest 2 and then went, right? So what we can do is just wait. We're at the very good spot to buy and just up our position size, because if the crypto market does go for the summer, we're looking at a massive rally. I mean, maybe something's going to happen, right, in the crypto, and there's equal highs over here, and 170 is a pretty damn that's a pretty damn area, like pretty damn good area to get all this profit. Like if you think about it, that's 85%. That's a lot, which is pretty good. So I would keep my eyes on that. And obviously this follows Ethereum, so it's kind of a like the first resistance over here, clearly that needs to turn support if we do start inching up, and then obviously it would continue into these ceilings. Other than that, I don't have anything for the week. A lot of this stuff kind of rallied, but at the same time, it's on the back of tech and chips. So, I mean, look at this volume. That's crazy. This was a downside. That showed upside. That showed another upside. This is a significant amount of volume, but it's not high. It's not like a spike. It is a spike, but it's not a higher spike than the previous one. And you can't really like. There's nothing else above, right? Like, how do you play this? It's too late, right? That's the time where you kind of start shaving, and then earnings are coming in on May next month. So there's likely going to be major news. Other than that, that's what I'm looking at. I don't want to extend myself into a crazy tangent, but you have these major spikes. Like you can see they're buying at specific times. And if you look, when are they buying? 10 minutes before close, 10 minutes before close, 10 minutes before close, 10 minutes before close, and 10 minutes before close. So once you see these, what do you think is happening the next day? Like dip, buy, dip, buy, dip, buy. What do you think is going to happen here? Dip, buy. So keep your eyes peeled. 717 is probably somewhere 717, 720. I'm going to update the levels and then get us some updated charts by the end of the day, getting ready for tomorrow. Like same here, you see, like right at 250. Spike, dip, buy, small spike, dip, buy, spike, buy, spike, buy, spike, dip, buy. That's been the story of this entire thing every time. I actually just realized that. And these are all bullish. And when it wasn't, it did lead to a small bottom. Interesting. That's very interesting, actually. Let's pick a random one. Yeah, there's a spike. Right at 2. Dip, buy. Interesting. They seem to have all this volume at the very end of the day. At the very fucking end of the day. Huh. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this week. I did send a bunch of stuff, a bunch of probes. I think we're gonna get a dip and then a purchase again. Um, I'm gonna watch the same action in the volume because it seems to be a recurring thing, and we're not at the very peak yet. So any dip will be purchased. What we need to watch is DXY and VIX very closely. These are our like two uh, main watch because that's where the sentiment is. That's what's going to give us the idea as to where the market is going to go and when it's going to go, and the fallout, because there's going to be a fallout. It's not going to keep going up. In 4 years that I've traded, almost five, actually, yeah, 20, yeah. So in nearly 5 years that I've traded, anytime there's multiple days in a row of upside, there is a pullback. There's a significant healthy pullback. We've seen one of the biggest recovery rally in ever lately. So there's going to be a significant pullback. There has to be. And by significant, like, it ain't gonna look like this. That's just consolidation. Like, by significant pullback, we're gonna retrace this fucking move. Like, where's the 50%? You know what I mean? If we push a little higher to 720, where's the 50%? 675. That's where we're gonna go. We're gonna retest that 675. And I mean, what is this right here? Equal lows. There you go. See what I'm saying? It's that simple. You have an idea as soon as it starts, as soon as it breaks this 720, comes back down, chops, fails, and then it's going to start trickling back down. 675. I'm pretty certain we're going to revisit 675 next month. And then that's going to be our new POC, and we're going to go. But they left these for a reason. They did retest them, but they did not lower low off of them. Like, the ones that were trigger were at the top of the range. What about the bottom ones? What about the people in this block? If we put a little block here, it never touched it. So liquidity was here, and there's still liquidity here. So something to consider, guys. The MAG ETF is on a broadening pattern. You can see the candle are getting bigger and bigger. POC is 29.39. Once that breaks, we could see lower side, but I do believe we're going to see a higher high first and then some type of pullback. But as far as right now, as long as it holds POC and it keeps closing those bodies above its POC, it's going to keep going. So to keep an eye on that as well. Uh, Probably somewhere 3060, that little gap right here, because it was there, like the range was there, right? And then something happened where it just melted. But there's an imbalance here that's going to be filled, and guess what? That looks to me to be the same amount that we're missing on the on SPX is roughly 100 points. That lines up. It's not like it's really far. It's right here. So keep your eyes on that.